Welcome to another episode of BSing Through Sports, and man, it's been a crazy week. The NBA trade deadline just ended. No real buzzer beater trades that are significant. Marcus Smart, DeAndre Hunter, they got traded. DeAndre Hunter significant, but other than that, nothing really happened. Everything happened either the day before or the days leading up to the trade deadline. Luka still, of course, being the biggest trade. That will always be the biggest trade, but crazy week. And now we can finally return to a little bit of normal talk, a little bit of more scheduled programming, because it was supposed to be Super Bowl week. It was supposed to be just Super Bowl talk. Player prop to the Super Bowl. Who's going to win the MVP? What Gatorade color is it going to be? The usual Super Bowl talk from the media people in the NFL and the sports world. Just leading up to the Super Bowl, just talking Super Bowl for a whole week, random stuff, random shit to say. And then they finally get to the preview around Thursday and Friday. But no, that hasn't happened. It's just been straight NBA. NBA stole the week from the NFL like the NFL stole the day on Christmas. Like the Grinch. But finally could return to normalcy. And honestly, the biggest headline today, or yesterday, whenever you're listening, is Josh Allen has won the MVP. Lamar Jackson going into this, it was either Lamar or Josh Allen. Those were the definite two. I think Saquon, Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, and Lamar and Josh Allen were all the finalists. They had their representatives on the stage, I guess you could just call it. And those were the five that were presented in the NFL honors as the finalists for MVP. And the two you knew that were not neck and neck, that were really the two contenders, the two real contenders throughout the season, was Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And in a surprising victory, Josh Allen took the MVP from Lamar Jackson. Very surprising. I mean, if you do look at the stats, it's pretty obvious that Lamar Jackson was the favorite going into this, should have been the favorite going into this, and probably should have won it, if I'm being honest. He had more passing yards, 4,000. He had more passing touchdowns. He had less interceptions. And he did have less rushing touchdowns, but he had way more rushing yards. So, I mean, I don't know how Josh Allen won, but he won. And I think it was definitely the factor of him playing on a way worse team. I mean, his team, skill-wise, he got them farther, but the votes are submitted before the playoffs. But he got them to a better record, 13-4 as the quarterback. Lamar, 12-5. He got them to a better record, a better situation with worse skill, with worse players overall, worse skill. He didn't have much talent on the team. His best receiver was his tight ends, and Keon Coleman was a rookie. He didn't do much. He didn't have a big breakout. He's going to be good. He didn't have a big breakout. James Cook he had. But that's about it. He had to improvise and do everything on his own. And that's probably why he got the MVP. And there's also the fact that Lamar Jackson's already won 2 MVPs. I feel like he's getting that James Harden treatment. He is so good that you're like, okay, he's going to win it probably every damn year at this point. Give him the James Harden treatment where he can have average 30 points per game. But he's not going to get the MVP. He can average 30 points per game and damn near a triple-double, and he's not going to get the MVP. That's what Jokic is going to end up being. Jokic is probably going to win one more MVP in his career, to be honest. So they're going to give him that treatment where they're like, okay, we got to give it to somebody else. This is crazy. But everybody's saying, DEI MVP, but like Josh Allen, you can make an argument that he deserved the MVP. I mean, better record and played with far less talent. I think you could make the argument he won the MVP. Lamar Jackson won the matchup, by the way, 31-10. But Josh Allen won the playoff matchup. But the MVP is a regular season award. Lamar Jackson won the matchup between the two. Had far better stats. I mean, clearly, I think he should have been the MVP. He was the better player overall throughout the whole season. But Josh Allen did a lot with less talent. And Joe Burrow, I think, was better than Josh Allen this season, but what Josh Allen did with the talent is far more superior than what Lamar and Joe Burrow, more impressive than what Lamar and Joe Burrow did. But Josh Allen got the MVP. I'm not happy. I'm a Dolphins fan. I don't want Josh Allen to win the MVP. I think that should have been Lamar's Award Broward County guy. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, what can you do? Now you got Josh Allen finally got some accolades. I mean, this is Mahomes versus Allen is a real matchup, real rivalry. And Josh Allen has got no accolades compared to Mahomes. Mahomes got an MVP, 3 Super Bowls, and Josh Allen's got none of that. And he finally got one of the 2 biggest accolades in the sport. Of course, Super Bowls matter way more. But he finally got an accolade to enhance that rivalry a little bit. Because if Patrick Mahomes was winning everything compared to Josh Allen winning nothing, it's just going to decrease the rivalry value. But Josh Allen is now, I guess you could say, the best player, or the best quarterback in the NFL. I think the best player is Saquon. But he won Offensive Player of the Year. Jaden Daniels Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie. Defense, Jared Verse. Yeah, those were the awards that were given out. But, yeah, you can enhance the rivalry a little bit. You got to give Josh Allen something. And, of course, I think Lamar Jackson's at the point where he's like, MVPs, I don't care. I want to win the damn Super Bowl. I want to win the AFC Championship. I want to get to the Super Bowl first. MVPs, I already got 2 of those. I don't need another one. So Lamar Jackson, he cares, but I guess he doesn't care. But Josh Allen, this is big for him, and hopefully, my Dolphins see this and are like, okay, we got an MVP in our division, we got the best quarterback in our division. Let's actually do something. And transitioning into actually do something, two big players are on the trading block for sure, both requesting a trade this week. Myles Garrett, Cooper Kupp. First, let's get to Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett requesting a trade, finally. He should have did this last season. You're on the Browns, and the Browns are doing what the Browns have done since I've known the Browns. Suck. They suck. He had a little bit of spark with Baker, but that was it. Joe Flacco last season, but that wasn't going to go anywhere. That wasn't going to lead to anything in the offseason. And of course, the Browns, one of the worst teams in football this season. Terrible. They had DTR at quarterback, and that sucked. They showed no hope in just progressing and showing improvement towards the end of the season. They did not care. They were just trying to set themselves up in the draft, and they sucked. And Myles Garrett is unhappy, probably. He's unhappy finally. He's probably been unhappy for a while now, but he finally requested a trade. And Myles Garrett is a generational talent. He is, with Lawrence Taylor, with TJ Watt, I would say, JJ Watt, generational talent. You cannot find those. It's like Luka. You can't find those in the draft every year. You can't find those every 10 years. Those appear every 20 years. These generational talent. Even though, I just said TJ Watt, JJ Watt. That made no sense. But you know what I mean. Generational talent. Lawrence Taylor. You don't find these talents. This guy is built like a freaking monster. He gets to the quarterback like no one else. And the Browns, they did nothing with him. And it's finally time for them to do the right thing and move him on and move him to a team that's actually contending. They better not move him to a non-contending team. But the Eagles are the favorite to get him. The Dolphins are actually the second favorite to get him. I don't pay attention much, or don't give it any merit with these betting odds of where these players that request trades should land, because the Miami Heat have been favorites for damn near everybody, and they got nobody. So don't give these any merit. I'm just saying the Eagles are the favorite, and that would just make their defense already incredible with Jalen Carter, Zach Bond. Who else they have? Just all the damn talent. Davis. They do not need any more defensive players for Vic Fangio to play with. But Myles Garrett, you cannot pass up on Myles Garrett. And he would just make that team even better. They're already in the Super Bowl, and that defense will just get scarier and scarier. They'll be better than that Seahawks team. And if I'm any team that is in contention for Myles Garrett, this draft is not loaded. If you want to trade, like the Eagles, they have, the 27th pick, the 28th pick, something like 29th, whatever it'll be. Excuse me. If you want to trade for Myles Garrett, just do it. Give him that first round pick to the Browns or in whatever else they want, because this draft is not something that's jumping out the table. This draft is okay, I'll trade this pick more so than last year's draft or more so than the next year's draft, because both of those drafts are more loaded than this year's draft. This year's draft, no matter what the position is, I don't think it's loaded at all. I don't think there's a lot of generational talent besides Mr. Cam Ward out of Miami. But that's it. If you want to get Myles Garrett, go get Myles Garrett. Patriots, I think, should take a look, because I think they need to get a player. on defense, a edge rusher. Maybe they get Abdul Carter instead. But Myles Garrett, he's ready, willing, and going now. I mean, Abdul Carter, he's a generational talent, but he's a great talent. I don't know about generational, but Myles Garrett is generational. He's going now. Myles Garrett, Patriots, Eagles, hopefully the Dolphins, but I don't think he should go there. I don't think that's where the Browns should trade him if they want to do him justice. But yeah, Eagles, Patriots, Commanders are definitely, even the Chiefs. I mean, it doesn't matter where he goes. He's going to be a star, an X factor, disruptor, and a piece to winning a championship. Now, the other dude who is really differing from Myles Garrett, because Myles Garrett's still in his prime, Cooper Kupp requested a trade also from the Rams. I think he requested a trade, and they're going to trade him. And it's really, I think the Rams are going to move off of him also, more so than him trying to move away from the Rams. He's a $20 million receiver, and he's been injured. He's been injury prone. The injuries are getting to him a little bit. Slower seasons, season after season, the stats aren't jumping off the board, especially after that Super Bowl winning season by the Rams. He was definitely the reason they won that Super Bowl 100%. He was the best receiver in football for 2 straight years. But he's slowing down, 31 years old, $20 million a year. And the Rams, they're getting younger. They got really young on defense, and now the offense is also young. They just got Matthew Stafford. The offense is also young, and they're getting younger. And Sean McVay knows when to move off of these players. And this is the time to move off of Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp is expensive. I don't even know if they're going to get a lot in trade. I don't know who's really going to trade for him. It's really the Matthew Stafford connection that has made him really good. I mean, they just got to the NFC Championship. Also, there's that argument Kelly Stafford was making, I saw. They just got to the NFC Championship. Why are we moving off of Stafford's go-to? Even though I think his go-to is Puka now, but his second go-to, really effective with Stafford and that connection. But it's the time to move off of Kupp. He's getting old. His stats are decreasing. His production's decreasing. And you get him to a team, I'm going to say it again, the Patriots, a less team that needs a weapon, someone worse, not a really good team, but they're promising they're trying to get to the playoffs, they're trying to make a run into the playoffs. Get him to a team like that will maybe overpay for him or give you a little bit more than a contending team. So the Patriots, but the Titans, I don't know. But Cooper Kupp, time to move on from Cooper Kupp. Definitely for the Rams, and try to get what you can. If you can't, they might end up releasing him. I don't know if they could really get something significant for Cooper Kupp. Who's going to take on $20 million like that? So it's going to be a worse team definitely taking on Cooper Kupp, and I think it's time to move on for sure. The Rams, they're very promising, and when Sean McVay sees this and he's trying to get younger and younger, it means something. And the Rams, they're really good. They made it to the NFC Championship, made it to the division round, one play away from the NFC Championship. And that defense is crazy, so definitely try to build something now, try to win now. I think the Rams shouldn't get relaxed this offseason. Definitely try to make moves with that young defense and the defensive coordinator, Chris Shula. He's going to get some calls next offseason for sure if that defense continues to play the way it's played. Now, let's get to some quick hitter takes. Yes, quick, to the point, sharp, to the point, everything to the point. Some quick hits on some headlines from this week. First, Pete Alonso, 2 years, $54 million. He gets paid by the New York Mets. He gets the contract that he wants. He has an opt-out, so it's a prove-it year for Pete Alonso. He was struggling. I remember the ramblings. He was really, really struggling this season, but he got it together, got him in that postseason run, helped him with the postseason run, hit that crazy homer against the Brewers to send him to the divisional round, win the wild card series. Pete Alonso gets paid 34 home runs last season, BA of 240. It's a prove-it year, so if he does good and he wants to get paid more, then you opt out, you go get a contract, the Mets want to bring him back, they can go spend their unlimited money with Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Luis Ariz is also available, so you got some first base options there. So if he wants to get, it's a prove-it year. If he proves it, he can opt out, ask for more money. They don't want to give it to him. Go get Vladdy. Go get someone else in free agency in 2026. And if he doesn't do good, he can just opt in and get paid. But the Mets are fine with it. That's like the Bosch piece of the big three. You know, you got Soto, LeBron, Lindor, D-Wade. He's been there, but Alonso's been there, and he is a rock of a foundation. It's someone for Mets fans when he's good, when he's banging, when he's slugging, to rally behind. And he's really been their guy for a while now. He's been a really good player for the Mets, except last season he was struggling. But other than that, he is a slugger. Polar Pete, he's going to be back in the Mets jersey for at least one more year. Then, next, we got, what the heck are the Raptors doing? What the heck are they doing? They traded for Brandon Ingram, Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, 2026 first round pick, a second. I think there's one more player in there. But what are they doing? I mean, they are a top 5 worst team in the league, and it was saw this week that they want to get someone around, an all-star around Brandon Ingram. I mean, Scotty Barnes, and that was Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram hasn't played since December, so I don't know if he's even going to play anytime soon. But why? I know it's kind of like a buy low situation. The Pelicans are definitely probably one of the worst top 3 teams in the league. They're trying to get Cooper Flag in that sweepstakes. But the Raptors are also in the sweepstakes, and they traded for Brandon Ingram. I can never tell what the Raptors are doing. It seems like, okay, we could never get free agents to come here, so we could just trade for the star players, the all-star players, and we trap them here. And Brandon Ingram next to Scotty Barnes, I want to see what Scotty Barnes looks like playing with another all-star. So it's going to be really, really, really interesting. You know, they got some young pieces. Emmanuel Quickly. They just traded Davion Mitchell, but they got Emmanuel Quickly, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, and now Brandon Ingram averaging 22 points per game this season. He hasn't really played this season. He's been injured. He's an injury-prone player. But it's going to be interesting. He's out of the Pelicans. It's his 3rd team now. And this is his 2nd team as a true star in the league. Next, lastly, another NBA team. What are you doing, the Hawks? The Hawks, what are you doing? You were sitting in the 9th spot in the East, 5 games behind the 5th seed, and you don't have your first round pick. It is owned by the San Antonio Spurs, who are just balling right now. I mean, the San Antonio Spurs are in the greatest position of all time. Got the Aaron Fox, kept their young core, and have a first round pick that's probably going to be in the top 10. But the Hawks, DeAndre Hunter, he is the leader for 6th man of the year, averaging 19 points per game. Why did you trade him for Caris LeVert? You traded him to the Cavs, the best team in the league. And why did you trade him for Caris LeVert? You are 5 games behind the 5th spot without your first round pick this year, so you can't even tank, and you just made Trae Young unhappy. I know you got Ricochet, he's first pick in the draft. I don't know about him, honestly. But you just traded a 20 point per game score when Jalen Johnson's out. I guess they just gave up on the season now Jalen Johnson's out? What are we doing? You don't have your first round pick. You just made Trae Young unhappy. I wouldn't be surprised if Trae Young gets moved this offseason, because they were just in full reboot mode. They also traded Bogdan Bogdanovic. I mean, what are we doing? What was that? Full rebuild for the Hawks. No one knows what they're doing. 5 games behind the 5th spot. You're in the play-in. You're probably going to be in the play-in. I mean, Trae Young can catch fire. He has. I know you went on a big losing streak, but you just got to win against the Pistons. That gave you kind of a boost. Chemistry boost. What are we doing? The Hawks, what are you doing? That was not a good move, and they didn't get anything. Worked that trade for DeAndre Hunter, a great young player. But there it is, the quick hit headlines. Josh Allen's the MVP. I don't know how we feel about that. I feel like Lamar Jackson should have won it, but I understand the Josh Allen go-to for the MVP. But that's it. Finally got our some normalcy back. It's not complete chaos anymore with the trade deadline. We'll see you at our Super Bowl preview next.